Good morning, beautiful people. How's everybody today? I hope that y'all are having an awesome weekend. And it is time, once again, for Quantum Spirituality. I'm Derek Day, and this is part of the Global Online Ministry Alliance, the GOMA, which kicked off this morning with Len Bennett Jr., followed by Kyle Butler, followed by Catherine Toon, followed by yours truly, and this afternoon you'll likely be hearing from Michael Porter. Also, on Wednesdays, you'll hear Grounds and Grace with Mike Zenker, our man in Canada, and on Thursday, More Grace, More Grounds with Keith Giles. I'm also part of the 3 Chord Live, which 3 Chord Live is another awesome group of teachers, starting off on Mondays with Bill Thrasher from Georgia, and tag teaming from North Carolina and Chicago are Michelle Brown and Tammy Wilson with Table Talk. On Wednesday, from the great state, the Rocky Mountain state of Colorado, Catherine Toon with Marked by Love. And Thursday, from either New Jersey or parts unknown, our man Kyle Butler. And on Friday is Phreology Friday with me. And so that's the lineup. That's everybody. And I've got a little playlist going on here. I call it New Age Jazz. For all of you Rick and Morty fans out there, it's not like snake jazz. But anyway, it is an awesome day. You know, finally the rain has ended here in Arizona, and we're getting some sunshine, and I reckon that pretty soon we'll be able to play outdoors and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to do a couple of quick things here, housekeeping wise. I'm going to do a little bit of sharing here. I'm going to share this to the GOMA page, and I'm going to also share this to 3 Chord Live. Y'all bear with me for a minute. Just trying to get all this technological housekeeping together. You know, one day, either the software will be developed, or we'll have a team that does all of this good stuff, and then you don't have to go through all of these motions. But until that time, I thank you all for your patience. So I got one more share to do, and then we will color it done. Bear with me. So I've got a really awesome bit of teaching, or sharing, or whatever you want to call it, because, you know, honestly, I like to think of it as teaching, but at a certain level, there's a little bit of ego in that. And so I don't really want to teach so much as I want to share something that has been effective in my life. Because that is the thing. I believe strongly that if it ain't useful, it ain't useful. So that being said, let's do a couple of quick shout outs, because we've got some people watching. And I want to make sure that I acknowledge this, because you can be at IHOP or Denny's right now, but you're here watching me, and I am grateful. I just want you to know that I love each and every one of you. So my man John Knight from my Agape Dominion family, thank you for joining, my brother. Big T, Terry Wilson from Michigan, thanks for joining, brother. Appreciate you. Love you. My cousin Janine in Colorado is watching. Thank you for watching, Janine. Good to see you. Ann Lestine. Hi, Ann. How are you? Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Chris Roberts, my man from the 313. Thanks for watching. Joshua Eagleson. Thanks for watching, Josh. Dexter Wesley, my man, the hip-hop connoisseur, is watching. Andrew Barnasick is watching. Thank you for watching, Andrew. I really appreciate you all. And that pretty much constitutes the shout outs. Now, I want to share something with you today that I hope will move you toward a path of transformation in your life. Hey, Andre, thanks for watching, bro. And it's this. How do you get what you want out of life? How do you get what you want? Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I don't get this 100% right. But this is what I'll tell you. That I live in a house that I enjoy living in. I'm married to a woman that I absolutely adore, and she is not just my lover, the mother of my children. She is my best friend. I have awesome sons that they are handsome, they are intelligent, they are articulate, and they are athletic. And I drive a car that I enjoy driving. And I have a career that I enjoy working in. I'm living the dream. Now, is it perfect? No, there's always room for improvement. There are always other things that I think I could have or I think I could be doing. Hey, Jody, how are you? But it's this. It is this. That you can have exactly what you want when your desires line up with what your desires are made of. Let me say that again. You will have what you want when your desires line up with what you want is made of. Now, for those of you who've been watching me for any amount of time, know that love is a big thing with me. In fact, love is the key thing. Love is the principal thing. And love, I believe, transcends all religions, that it transcends all philosophies, that it transcends all intellectual disciplines. Love is the principal thing. Now, let me turn my music down here just a little bit. It's a little bit louder than I want. And the reason why we don't have what we want, and this is the only reason why any of us are not experiencing life to the fullest, that are not having exactly what they want, is because what they, who they are or who they perceive themselves to be does not vibrate at the same frequency as the thing they want. See, this is a law of attraction stuff, and you can call it New Age or whatever you want to call it. I don't care. The thing is that, you can sit up and criticize me for being New Age, but meanwhile, I will just simply ignore what you say about me and continue to live my life. And those of you who are living your lives, enjoying your lives, you can experience that same thing. So here it is, right? If you go back and look at the story of Jesus, and matter of fact, you can apply this pretty much to any seminal spiritual character in any religious spectrum, or any frequency on the religious spectrum, if you will, that they all have what they want. Jesus had what he wanted because he simply believed that that was what he was supposed to have. And the lesson of Jesus had nothing to do with salvation, had nothing to do with holy living, had nothing to do with even righteousness. It had everything to do with showing you how to live a fully formed, divine human life. And this is another thing, that until you realize that you are divine, that you are of the same substance and essence as your Creator, until you realize that, basically everything else is out of the door. And you'll never experience fully what it is that the Creator has for you. You'll never experience what Source really has in store for you because you haven't tuned in to the truth that you are part of the Source. See, it's just like right now I'm on my home Wi-Fi. And in order for me to be on my home Wi-Fi, my iPhone has to be attuned or tuned in to the frequency of my Wi-Fi. And it has to have a key. Something that identifies that I belong to this network. And the thing is that each and every one of us has our own Wi-Fi key built in. The problem is that we simply don't acknowledge it. See, if you can't see that you are God, you'll miss out on everything that God has in store for you. Real simple. And if you look at all of the successful people in the world, they are successful not because they came up with some, interesting device or some kind of key service or anything like that. It has everything to do with them acknowledging who they are. Now, they may say it a different way. They may manifest it a different way. But when you look at it, when you look at the Jeff Bezos of the world or the Oprah Winfreys of the world or the Joel Osteens of the world or look at anybody. These people fully understand who they are. And they not only fully understand who they are, but they understand their why, and they understand that they were created with something to give back to the world. See, that's the other thing too, is that a lot of times we want something from the universe without giving anything back. It doesn't work that way. The law of attraction also has a corresponding or correlating law of reciprocity. In other words, you'll get out of it what you put into it. But if you don't understand that, if you're not tuned into this frequency, you'll never get it. So here's Jesus, right? And I've taught on this before, that when Jesus came up from the grave. See, first of all, in order for you to come up from the grave, you have to realize that you're vibrating at a frequency to which death cannot comprehend it. See, this is the only reason why people die. And hear me, if you go back and look, scientists do not completely understand why human beings age and die. This is a great mystery. And the reason why we age and die, I believe, has nothing to do with the mechanics of the human body. I believe that it has everything to do with what we believe. Now watch, Jesus believed so strongly in who he was and what he was created to do. And not only that, but what he was there to impart to humanity, that even death couldn't stop it. That's the lesson of the listen, can I say something real quick? I need to say something that's just going to flip over some tables real quick. And that's that, people teach on the cross and how important the cross is. And I'm going to tell you something. Some of you may just tune out after this, and I don't care. But if you see it, this will help you. The cross is nothing more than a crime scene. It's nothing more than the scene of a homicide. All it is, if somebody put some yellow tape around the cross, you understand exactly what it is. The cross is nothing special. You understand this? Jesus could have been killed in a myriad of ways. The magic wasn't in his death. The magic was in the resurrection. And matter of fact, the magic, there was no magic in the death, period. The magic began before the death occurred. See, this is the thing, that when Jesus was out teaching this amazing understanding of we were never separated from source, that source loves us, that source is love, and that we are to reflect that love, that was scandalous, right? And people wanted to kill him before that. But what they had to do is they had to find something. They had to find something that fit into the paradigm of their law, into their legal system, through which they felt they could kill him lawfully. So here's the deal. The cross, and y'all hear me, the cross is really meaningless. It's a nice symbol, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. The real magic of the story is when Jesus rose from the dead. It was when Jesus was vibrating at a frequency that even death could not subdue. Death couldn't squelch that frequency. Death couldn't stop the resurrection. In other words, death, what Jesus is showing us there is not that we have our ticket punched to go to heaven, but that death should not stop us. See, I live for the day when we vibrate at a frequency such that, people die and then all of a sudden they start just waking up. They're clinically dead. The heart stops, the bodily functions stop, but all of a sudden they just start waking up. I live to see that day. Anyway, that's the magic of this. So here's the thing. One of my friends just joined in, Josh Feltz, and if you're not connected with him, I highly recommend that you get connected with him, because this is a guy that understands vibrating at the right frequency, and what he's doing, he's teaching people how to do that the same way. There's another guy, Ryan Lewis. He's the same way. Ryan beat cancer. I mean, not just beat cancer. He actually fucking kicked cancer in the nuts. I mean, literally. But Ryan and Josh are basically, these are guys that are operating in a fully formed divinity. And so they're living their best lives, and they're able to share this understanding with others. And so basically what they've done is they've literally tapped in to the Jesus power, and they're living their best lives. They're fully formed. I mean, anyway, let me get back to what I'm saying here, because I want you guys to get this. If you're trying to listen to a radio station in your car and you don't tune into the right frequency, all you get is static. Now, mind you, you may have power. Your device may be turned on. And if you have something new and kind of slick, you might have a display screen, and you'll see the radio station, or you'll see the tuning apparatus, right? And you'll see all of that, and all of it's there, but you're not hearing anything because you're not tuned in. See, the thing is that every single thing in the universe, everything perceivable, everything understandable, every single thing, period, full stop, is made of love. So if you're not operating in love, you literally cannot expect to get anything. The mate that you want will not come. The job that you're looking for will not come. The business that you're trying to create will not come. None of these things will happen because you are vibrating at the wrong frequency. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on, with this coronavirus and all this other shit that people are saying, well, this is the harbinger of the second coming of Jesus. Pump your brakes, dog. It has nothing to do with that. See, this whole idea of Jesus coming from the clouds and all of that, the rapture, all of that is just religious bullshit. I'm just going to say it, put it out there. All of that is a complete and total waste of time. Here's what the second coming of Jesus actually looks like, because this is how Jesus left, right? Jesus left when he transcended transcended dimensions. And for people that didn't have an understanding of quantum physics or didn't have an understanding of any technology or anything like that, they didn't know what to make of Jesus's departure, so they saw it as him going off into the clouds. Why? Because he just kind of vanished into nothing, right? But he didn't vanish. Watch this. I love how Dr. Kay Fairchild says that. She says that we are simply spirits slowed down to a natural frequency. So all that happened here with Jesus is that he sped up. He changed frequencies, or as the choir director would say, he modulated. He went up a key, went up an octave. Okay, that's what he did. And what Jesus was showing us through his earthly ministry is how to modulate your frequency. See, the thing is, he was telling us all along. If you go back and look through the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, you'll see that Jesus was telling us that we were operating beneath our privilege. But see, our privilege is tied to the frequency. And I also posted some stuff last week that, basically the frequency of love is 528 hertz. 528 hertz is the frequency of love. And if you want to know what that sounds like, if you're doing the scales, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, it's me. And watch this. This is going to help you because, see, when you say me, people will tell you immediately, you're being selfish. But the frequency of me is the frequency of love. When you say, listen, I am, the word I am is the same as Om. You know how the Hindus, the Buddhists, they chant Om, 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 right? That Om is also in the key of love. Do you see that? And so when you say Om, I am, me, all of that is in the same, it's in the same chord family, if you will. You see that? So when you say me, when you say I am, when you say Om, listen, you are resonating at the frequency of love. And here's the thing, people say that speaking in tongues does some things to, edify the body, to strengthen the body and things like that. Let me tell you something. When a cat purrs, a cat purrs at 528 hertz. That when you are speaking in tongues, a lot of what you're saying happens in the frequency of 528 hertz. So the frequency of love, which science has proven impacts DNA. When you're speaking in this key, when you're singing in this key, when you are meditating on this key, it is doing things to your body that is transformative. And this transformation helps you to vibrate at the frequency you need to attract what you want. I mean, I wish somebody could just catch this and take it and run with it. I mean, listen, it's one thing for me, I'm just one voice, but it's another thing if thousands of people catch this and begin to share it, because once this catches fire, this changes humanity. And if you want to see what the second coming of Jesus actually looks like, start vibrating at his frequency. So you begin to see things in his dimension. Do you see that? And watch this. I'm of the belief, I sincerely believe this, that when humanity as a collective begins to get this and they begin to vibrate at this frequency, the death will end. Death will just stop, because this is a frequency that death cannot subdue. See, listen, listen, religion has taught us how to die. That's all religion can teach you. Religion has only, it seeks to manipulate and control only to the point of teaching humanity death. But watch this. Jesus said, I have come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. And do you know that when he said that, and when he said the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, that ain't the devil. Listen, let me just say something else to mess you up. There is no devil. There is no Satan. Religion is the devil. Religion is the devil. Now, Marcel Roos says that 1959, the second coming of Jesus. Yes, I understand the preterist view, and I'm completely on board with that. However, I think that the second coming that most people allude to is not the actual second coming. It's just basically seeing him. And we won't see him until we actually begin to vibrate at that frequency. And I'm going to tell you, there are people like my sister Vanessa Brooks. She's been teaching on chakras, and she's been teaching on crystals, and she's been teaching on a lot of things that are metaphysical. And people, listen, you wouldn't believe the amount of bullshit that this sister gets because she teaches this, right? They say, oh, well, you were an apostle and you were teaching Jesus and now you're teaching this. Listen, she's not teaching anything new. She's not teaching anything off the path. She's not teaching anything off the reservation. She didn't go over the edge. What she did is she modulated to a higher frequency. And now she's showing others how to modulate at a higher frequency. Dr. Kay Fairchild is showing people how to modulate at a higher frequency. Lynn Bennett Jr. is teaching people how to modulate at a higher frequency. Don Keithley is teaching people how to modulate at a higher... Listen, when you get past all of this... Listen, think of religion as a weight on your back. It is literally an 800-pound gorilla on your back. The devil that's on your back is religion, because it's religion that stops you from doing anything because you believe, you bought into the lie. But if you get past that lie and now you start seeing past what religion is saying, you begin to transcend. You begin to modulate. You begin to grow. And this is the funny thing about this is that since I've been on this path, I'm going to tell you something. I was going through Facebook earlier today, and they have that thing where they show your time on this day kind of thing. And you see the history of all your posts for like as long as you've been on Facebook. And I've been on Facebook 10 years. And I look back, even a year ago, I look at some of the stuff that I was saying and I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I believed that. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I taught that. Because now I modulated. I've gone to another octave. And when I go to another octave, I begin to see more clearly. Interesting thing, like if you've ever done any hiking in mountains or mountain climbing or anything like that, you'll notice that the higher you go, the greater your vantage point, the more you see. Now, you begin to lose the details at ground level, but you begin to see the vastness of creation. Do you see that? See, that's the thing. What religion tries to do is keep us down, mired in the details. But love says, come up to where God is. Come up to God's thoughts. Come up to a higher way of thinking, a higher way of believing, a higher way of being. This is where God speaks to you and says, I have so much more to show you. See, this is the quantum accelerator. I think about this like in the TV show Star Trek, right? Mankind has evolved to the point where they're able to travel faster than the speed of light and able to teleport their physical selves through solid matter. It's like when Jesus came and appeared to the disciples after the resurrection. You see, his frequency had increased beyond death, beyond the grave. And now he was vibrating at a frequency through which he could transcend solid matter. Do you see the implications of this? That once you get to the point where you are transcending solid matter, we're talking about exploring space without spacesuits or without even spaceships. We're talking about being able to explore the depths of the ocean or the depths of the earth without any protection, simply because we're able to modulate at a frequency that transcends anything that will harm us. Oh my God. I wish somebody could just catch this. And for those of you who think that I've gone off the deep end or I've gone off the edge, you're damn skippy. I've gone off the edge. And guess what? I'm learning how to fly. And sometimes I may descend. But guess what? As soon as I descend, Papa shows me an undercurrent. He shows me a thermal. And I begin to spread my wings and soar. And that's what he wants you to do. Listen, you are not created to live an ordinary life. You're not created to be in lack. You're not created to be sick. You're not created to be joyless. You're not created to be sad. You're not created to be depressed. You're not created to be oppressed. You're not created to be disenfranchised. You're created to be free. You're created to be whole. And you're created to be God. Now, you can take that, slice it, dice it, julienne it any way you want. But I'm here to tell you that if you want to experience all that you want to experience, you're going to have to tune into the right frequency. You're going to have to tune in to the frequency of everything else. And because God is love, and because when God created everything, when he stepped out of eternity into nothing and spoke something, thought something, spoke something, created everything, God only had one raw material at his disposal, and that was himself. And God is love. That means that everything that you could think of, every single thing, every particle, every molecule, every atom is made of love. And if you want to partake of that and participate in that, then you too must realize, recognize, and walk in the truth that you too are love. And when you do that, your frequency will change, you'll modulate, you'll go up, you'll go higher, and you'll begin to see things that you hadn't seen before. You begin to do things that you couldn't do before. Your confidence will go up. Your connections will increase, and your courage will be built up. That's what I have for you today. I hope that blesses you. Don't forget to join us, me and my bride Angela, on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Is it 8 p.m. Eastern Time? Yeah, well, actually, yeah. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's go with that. 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Hot Mic, where we just talk about stuff and we keep it real. We do a little bit of drinking, we do a little bit of smoking, and we do a whole lot of talking. And it's a whole lot of fun. And don't forget to tune in to the folks, the good folks in the 3 Chord Live and the Goma. You will be blessed. And most of all, you'll hear something without all the religious bullshit that you've been fed for years. You'll hear some things that will actually help you to get to an actual point of freedom in your life. Because it's my goal that you live as well as or better than I do. That's my goal. That's my wish. That's my heart's desire. That's my hope. That's my prayer. And so with that being said, I close as I always do by telling you namaste. I love you. Peace and hair grease. Cheers.